Number 1. I was born with congenital heart disease, and I was supposed to get surgery like really early in life, but for some reason my parents waited till I was 7 to get me surgery. Sometimes I wonder if they maybe hoped that I would just, die. But anyway, when I was 7, I had surgery, which was performed by a doctor whom my parents paid with a case of champagne. Which kind of makes it sound fancy because it's champagne and not like, moonshine or something. But still. During surgery, when they cut me open, they damaged some muscles, and now I have limited use of my dominant arm. I can't fully raise it, and also my left boob is a little mangled. Number 1, and it's already TMI. Welcome to the show. Number 2. Over the course of my life, I have studied, either academically or recreationally, a total of 7 foreign languages, but I can only really speak one. And I didn't choose to learn that one. I was forced to by circumstances. Number 3. I have synesthesia, which, in case you're unfamiliar with what that is, basically means that your senses overlap in a way that they're generally not supposed to. Depending on what kind of synesthesia a person has, it might cause them to associate sound with color or words with flavor. For me, it's primarily Ordinal-Linquistic personification, which means that numbers, days of the week, months, and certain other concepts all have personalities in my perception. And I also have a bit of the color going on as well. Certain numbers and concepts have color in my perception, but I don't notice it as much as the personification thing. I used to think that this was normal, that this is just how everyone perceives the world, but it turned out that no, it's actually a condition. Except, of course, it's not a disability. It doesn't prevent you from being able to do anything. And it's sometimes classified as an extra ability. So it's kind of like a superpower, but completely useless. Number 4. I do not, nor have I ever owned a smartphone. I've simply never been able to afford one. I actually have a flip phone. It's actually a hand-me-down flip phone, which I got from my aunt when she upgraded. It's broken in a number of places and glued back together. The back panel just falls off when it feels like it because it's broken, and is primarily held down with some two-sided adhesive tape. There is no internet on this. I think there's a camera technically, but it's crap, of course. So yeah, while you were all out there catching Pokemon, here in the Stone Age. Number 5. One of the things that I probably miss the most about home is Halloween. I really love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. Some of my happiest memories from childhood are from Halloween. And you know how sometimes people will get sad during the winter holidays because they feel lonely or unloved? Well, I get sad during Halloween now because it exacerbates my homesickness. It makes me think of all the things I'm missing out on. Well, actually, I always think about that stuff, but it just gets even worse during Halloween. But I do still actually make the point to dress up for Halloween, but I generally have 2 costumes, inside and outside. The outside costume is something surreptitious that if you don't know that it's a costume, then it can just pass for clothing. And the inside is something that doesn't pass for regular clothing quite as easily. Because, if you dress up as a ghost or, sexy hobbit in the US, people will know it's a costume for Halloween. But if you do that in a country where people don't dress up for Halloween, you'll probably get assaulted. So, last year, my outside costume was Kid Loki, and my inside costume that nobody saw was Rinkai-sen from Aoharu Tetsudo. Nobody got to see me dressed like this. You're welcome. I have pictures. Number 6. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved merch, band t-shirts and stuff like that. But I was really poor as a kid, so I couldn't afford to get any, and I'm still poor and I still can't afford them. So what I've started doing in the recent years is make my own merch with textile paints and brushes. I try not to make merch that currently exists, like something that can currently be bought. I make merch that's out of print. Like this t-shirt is from like a 1978 tour or something like that. You can't buy it anymore. I mean, you can buy it from someone who had bought it then, but you can't buy it from the band, so by making it, I'm not really taking anything away from the creators. Sometimes I make my own designs, like if there's a comic book character that I like, and they might not even have merch, official merch at all, so I'll just create my own design and make it into a t-shirt. And I've accumulated a few of those t-shirts over the years, not like a lot, because it's not like I can afford a lot of paint or plain t-shirts, but I've made some over the years that I no longer wear because I lost interest in them. I mean, I still wear them like under a hoodie, but I don't display them because I've kind of lost interest in the thing. Like, I made a Mork and Mindy t-shirt at one point because I was into the show and I thought it'd be cool to have a Mork and Mindy t-shirt. But eventually, my passion for the show subsided and now I have a Mork and Mindy t-shirt. I couldn't find it, by the way. I wanted to show it for the video, but I don't know where it is. It is somewhere. I've wanted to do like a giveaway because, I mean, I still do use them, so they're not entirely, wasted potential, but it'd be nice if someone who's into the thing could enjoy them instead of me just wearing them under a hoodie. But I can't afford shipping, so I can't really do a giveaway, which is a bummer. Maybe if I ever have money, I'll do that. And on a similar note, I make polymer clay jewelry that I don't actually wear myself. I just enjoy making it. It's a creative outlet for me. I reuse pieces of old jewelry that belongs to my mother that she doesn't want anymore. I don't know what I'm doing because, I don't even have any tools. All of my tools are self-made from like toothpicks and needles and stuff. I just sit down and whatever comes to mind, I make it, and I feel better for a couple of hours. It's kind of therapeutic, I guess. And I wish I could sell it because, one, it just sits there. And it kind of irritates me that it sort of has no purpose. Because I don't wear it myself, and I don't know, maybe someone would enjoy it, maybe it would enhance someone's life. I don't know if it's any good. I realize that it's not well made, obviously, but as far as I understand, there are people who enjoy handmade stuff, because, it is exclusive. I only make one copy of each thing that I make. I guess there's value to that. And another thing is, I'm running out of clay. I'm still using a set that I don't think I even bought it myself. I think it was a birthday gift a few years back. This is like a sad Kylo Ren. I don't even know what I was going for there. It's also lopsided because I didn't have a stencil and I cut it out by hand. Since I'm running out of clay, I've been forced to use brighter colors. Obviously, I'm running out of black, and I don't have much white left either. So, this is me trying to use a brighter color. I know. I have no idea what that is. I've accumulated quite a bit of it, and I wish I could sell it just so it could be a self-sustained hobby. I mean, I could technically afford a block of clay, but since there's no purpose to it, other than just me having a creative outlet, it seems kind of like an extraneous purchase, you know? When you don't have a lot of money, you tend to not spend it on things that don't have any practical use. But in order to sell something online, you have to take a decent picture, and I don't have a camera. I've been trying to take a decent picture with, a tablet, but it doesn't really work. And besides, most decent websites, if you need to, list something, you have to pay. And if you don't sell anything, then you've just lost the money for the listing. And I don't have any money to begin with, so I can't even buy a listing. And I don't know if anyone would buy it, if it would be justified, to start listings. I also sometimes make designs that I think would look cool on like a t-shirt or a hoodie or something. I can't actually draw, but sometimes I'll like doodle something that I think would look cool on a t-shirt, but I never make it. I sort of wish that I could sell it just so that I could feel as if I'm a real creator and I'm making something that people are buying, but I don't know if anyone would buy it. I don't know, maybe it's something I'll do when I have money someday. So probably never. This is a bit uncomfortable to say, but I've kind of always wanted to be famous. And I think there's a number of reasons for that. I like to psychoanalyze myself. In part, it's just that all the things that I've ever wanted to succeed in are creative. So it's not just that I want to be famous, it's just that I want a lot of people to appreciate something that I'm creating. I wanted to be a rock star, I wanted to be a famous songwriter, I sometimes still want to be a famous writer. I just want a large audience to be able to consume something that I'm creating, and that pretty much equates to being famous. But there are probably more reasons to that. And I'm not sure if I'm right on this, but I think maybe in part it's because I wasn't really loved as a child. I was raised through a tentative balance of abuse and neglect, and basically in the formative years when you're supposed to form this understanding that no matter what happens in the rest of the world, there will be people who love you, I didn't have that. I wasn't loved, I didn't have a safe space, I never felt special, I never felt like there was anyone who really believed in me. So perhaps that is one of the reasons why I want to be loved by the outside world, because the inside world, the family, the people who are supposed to love you, didn't love me. So now I want validation from the outside world. I want to be loved by millions of people for something that I am, something that I do. I really, I guess, just want to be loved. But also, I think another aspect of this desire to be famous is that I want to be heard. I have a lot of beliefs and opinions, and generally I don't express them as much as I maybe should or maybe shouldn't. I don't even know, but there are a lot of things that I am quite passionate about. And I often find it very difficult to distance myself from the injustices that are happening in the world. And I've always felt that people who are famous have a better platform to be heard, and they can make a bigger difference in the world. And I've always wanted to leave some sort of mark. I've always wanted to make a difference. And of course, you can make a difference in small ways, such as charity or volunteer work, which I have done and probably will do again when I have the opportunity. But I've always wanted to make a bigger change in the world. And part of it maybe is selfish because I just want to be important in some way. And part of it is just that there are so many horrible things in the world that people ignore or look at through guilt goggles because they don't want to think about it, because they don't want to change anything about their behavior, because they don't want to give up their privileges or things they're used to. And sometimes it's incredibly difficult for me to distance myself from that. But I also know that if I try to talk about it, no one will really hear me. I will get some hate for it if I talk about it on Twitter, but not a lot of people will actually hear me. Whereas if you are famous, if you are appreciated and respected for something that you've done that has won a lot of people over, more people will listen to you. And maybe some of them will still hate you for what you say, but some might actually take your words into consideration. And maybe you will make people reconsider certain harmful behaviors, and I don't know, maybe the world will become a slightly better place. I don't know. Maybe that's very optimistic and unrealistic. I don't know. But sometimes I just wish that I was famous so that I could change the world for the better, I guess. But I also have to wonder, would I even be able to handle fame? I mean, I'm incredibly introverted, and my mental health has been deteriorating in the recent years. It was never good to begin with, but it's been getting worse for a number of reasons. I'm pretty much terrified of human contact. What kind of star would I make? I'm scared of going outside. But then again, the more fame there is, the more disconnect there is from the audience. Because, if you leave me a comment on my video, I'll see it. So, if you want to leave me hate, go ahead. Want to hurt me? Leave me a comment and I'll see it, because I'm not famous. But if you want to express something, good or bad, toward an actually famous person, there are a lot fewer avenues to do that. You can't really say how you feel to, Madonna or Brad Pitt or whatever. Tom Cruise is not going to see your comments on his video, that's what I'm saying. And even with a popular YouTuber who has 15 million followers and gets 50,000 comments on each video, they're probably not going to see your comment. They might, but it's a lot less likely. Whereas, if you have a small audience, there are advantages to that as well. So maybe I would enjoy that. I mean, of course it would be nice to be really famous so that I could make some sort of difference in the world. But in the end, I've always wanted to be an entertainer of some sort. I guess it started when I started telling jokes as a child and people would swarm around me because they thought I was hilarious, and everyone said I should be a stand-up comedian, which is kind of ridiculous, like a really sad clown. But I guess I've just always wanted to create something people would appreciate, and whether it's going to be for millions of people or a small group of people, it would still make me happier than I am now to know that I'm creating something that in some way makes someone's life better. Of course, I'd like to be super famous so that I can make a difference and all that, but being mildly famous to a small group of people would probably be nice as well. Not that that's ever gonna happen.嫌なことは忘れてしまえばいいのさ。全部ほら僕の腕の中においで、君は間違ってない。Doesn't work when I try to be sexy. It just comes out creepy and weird. I don't have a sexy bone in my body. Maybe I have a sexy bone somewhere, just haven't been able to find it yet. And that's why I'll never be famous. That, and also I'm old and ugly.